Good morning and happy Sunday. Also, in the words of a very great man, sun come up, coffee going down. Delicious. And welcome to the Shire Shed. I am Sunny. And this morning, I thought I'd do something a little different. As you can see in the thumbnail, title of the video, whatever, this is going to be a first impressions of this year's release of Cornell and Diehl Carolina Red Flake. And I'm going to do so in this Peterson Iran 87. And I'll tell you, this stuff isn't too bad. I was kind of expecting a little bit more from it. I think, if I'm being honest. Not to say that it's not good, because it's very good. But I think it just needs some time. My means for comparison really are I'm basing my judgment off of Carolina Red Flake with Perique from last year, which apparently they used the same Red Virginias in that they used in this year's release of Carolina Red Flake. So basing off of that, I was expecting more, but maybe it just needs some time, and that's mostly what I'm leaning on, because I mean it is a straight Virginia. Although I feel like, in my personal experience, that Red Virginias tend to need less time than Brights. So, one second. To kind of quantify that, I suppose, like if I were to get a tin of McBaron HH Pure Virginia, fresh tin, crack it open, pack a bowl, it would be pretty bitey, especially because it's McBaron and they all seem to bite. It would be pretty bitey, and it would have some rough edges, super grassy, which I love, but at the same time it would need at least 6 months, if not a year, ideally a year. Now on the other side of that coin, a Red Virginia like Carolina Red Flake or opening night or interlude or Edisto, which I have all the time, those I don't feel like need as much time. I feel like they kind of get that sweet spot, or the beginning of that sweet spot, like a month in. 2 weeks minimum. So, now that preface is out of the way, my additional first impressions are as follows. it's got that killer citrusy top note. Citrusy, touch of hay. Touch of hay, a little bit of grassy, but not much. Sort of bready. But again, a lot of these notes are harder to bring out just because it is so young, quote unquote. I cracked this tin the day I got it, and I didn't jar it until yesterday. So I think I got the tin like a week and a half ago. Cracked it, put the lid back on once I opened, once I cracked the seal. Put the lid back on, had a bowl out of it, and then just let it chill. And then yesterday I packed a bowl and jarred it in a mason jar. The flakes were very moist compared to how Cornell and Deal, or how I typically get Cornell and Deal. I don't feel like I've had a tin where the flakes were that damp from Cornell and Deal anyway. That seems to be more of a McBaron thing. And when I say damp, I'm talking like Sam Gawith damp. Very unusual. I'm getting a lot of notes that it seems like they want to come out, which tells me time is going to be the deciding factor there. Seems to be getting better as the bowl goes along. And again, I'm not saying it's bad. It's very good. Yeah, and it's even trying to gurgle a little bit. 1 second. Let me dry up some of that moisture. Get the dog hair off of my pipe cleaners. The joys of having a golden retriever. You get hair everywhere. But man, there's not a better breed out there. If you can deal with the hair, then you're good. And that's how I deal with it. I just complain. Interesting thing to point out, though. There's no bite to this. None. And I've pushed it pretty hard. This is only my second bowl ever of this year's iteration. There's no bite. Which bodes extremely well, given that it is basically fresh out of the tin. Retrohale is interesting. It's got a little bit of a tingle. Seems to want to linger in the nose, which is fine. It's quite good. Yeah, just needs some time. Hope everybody's doing well. Taking care of each other and all that. Yeah, it seems to be getting better down as the bowl goes down. A little more bread. A little more bready flavor coming out. Yeah, I'm into it. I knew I would be. I love Red Virginias. I've been on a hard Red Virginia kick lately. But that said, I think I'm going to leave this in the jar. I don't think I'm going to touch it for a while. Maybe another couple weeks. I'll try it again in a couple weeks. In the meantime, I'll have, my Edisto and my opening night. The 2020 release of Carolina Red Flake, which is almost gone. I've got about that much left in the jar. Sad. And yeah, Carolina Red Flake with Perique. I've got a ton of that. I stocked up big time. And then I went to my local B&M a few months ago, and they happened to find one or two tins that were hiding somewhere. So of course I got those. Yeah, it's good stuff. So yeah, if you like red Virginias and you already have some in your cellar, I would recommend that, you know, if you got a couple tins of this or you're planning on getting a couple tins of this, I would open that first one, jar it, maybe even, depending on how damp it is when you get it, you may just want to leave the lid off of it once you crack it open and break the seal. I know mine was pretty damp. Definitely let some air get to it, let it breathe a little bit, and yeah, if it were me, I'd leave the lid off for maybe a day or two. That's what I probably should have done with this one. But if you like red Virginias and you've got some in your cellar that you like, if you're like me, I've got several red Virginias pretty much ready to go all the time. Different levels of citrusy, bready, what have you. Then this will be right up your alley. It's very, I can't say that it's straightforward, because I wouldn't say it's straightforward. But it's not super complex either. I feel like every bit of its personality is very compartmentalized. Like, you'll be able to pick out every note pretty easily, even with a novice palate. Now, my palate's had a ton of training over the years. I used to work for a restaurant, and it was a high-end restaurant. And I was the assistant to the prep chef. And we had to taste things all the time. So you're talking several times a day, trying different things. And then we would taste the different whiskeys that the owner would get in. We would taste the different wines and beers and everything. So my palate has been trained to pick out every little thing. Lucky for me, yeah. So yeah, this is good stuff. Carolina Red Flake 2022. If you can get a hold of it, I'd get a couple tins at least. I'm insane, so I got 10. But that's because I already know I love red Virginias. So, that said, first impressions of this, very good. I'd give it on a scale of 1 to 10. First couple weeks out of the 10, I'd give it a solid 7, 7.5. That said, on a scale of 1 to 10 here in the next couple months, I'm gonna predict that it'll be a 12. Because this stuff, it is just begging for some time. And once it gets it, I'm fully confident that it is going to be easily in my top 2. I'm solid with that. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me know if you were able to get a hold of some of this stuff down in the comments. Want to hear from you guys. I want to hear, what your thoughts are. See if we have any concurring opinions or differing opinions on this particular blend. And yeah, thanks for being here. Do me a favor, if you're watching this video and you're not currently subscribed, throw me a sub. It doesn't cost you anything except maybe like half a second of a click. And if you do, I've got a giveaway contest going on that you can benefit from if you subscribe to the channel, and only if you subscribe to the channel. So if you have any questions about that, I'm going to see if I can put it up here in the corner. If not, it'll be a suggested video here at the end. So thank you for being here. Welcome to the Shire Shed. Glad to have you. Glad you watched this to the end if you did. And until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, and if you do, don't get caught. Have a good one.